What's up, everybody? We're going to switch it up today. Fire Friday Nashville edition. And I'm super excited to have someone that I've had the pleasure of meeting and instantly just moved me and is not in the real estate industry. How about that? Welcome, Gabby. We are switching up Fire Friday. Fire Friday, Gabby, I think when my team reached out to you, it was like, hey, it's a place where we share inspiring stories and we get to meet people that have just overcome so much and are just so, driven and just can really pour into people. And they were like, we got to bring Gabby on. So welcome, Gabby. Normally I'll kind of do a little bio, but on this particular one, I just really want people to get to know you, and I'll let you just tell your story. I mean, from day one when we met, it was just an instant connection, and I've met your sister. So I love the title that we selected. Life does not determine who you are. Your narrative does. So Gabby, welcome all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, guys. You're in for a treat. Gaby Herrera. A fabulous dentist, correct?
Yes.
Powerhouse woman leader in a very, very difficult, I would say, industry that's not easy to break into. You did it, but you are so much more than that. Gabby, cuéntanos, who are you?
So, hi, thank you. Thank you for this invitation, Veronica. And I can say as well, when I met you, I was immediately attracted to your energy, your power. I describe you as my empowered girl crush. You know, you are amazing. Just standing by you, getting a chance to meet people that actually lift you up like you do and give you the courage to say, hey, you are amazing and this is what you do. Why not say it? Because, we tend to be very our egos, like I try to put it on the side, I'm just a normal girl. What do we do? And then you meet people like you that say, no, you have done amazing things. So why not share with the world? So thank you for this invitation. And I'm honored to be here. So yes, as you said, I am a dentist. I am a specialist in orthodontics. And also I did endodontics in the past. So my story is, I'm from South America, from Venezuela, even though I was born and raised part of my life here. I was born in Dallas, Texas. So I'm a cowgirl, cowgirl fan. So my parents are from Venezuela. And then my dad, I was born here and he was doing a PhD. My dad is brilliant. My mom is amazing as well, super smart family. We moved back to Venezuela. My dad started working. We're four sisters. So we have 3 siblings. So it's amazing because when we talk about girl power, what more than having 3 amazing sisters and a mom that is incredible. So my mom is a lawyer. My older sister is a lawyer and a realtor, and you know her, she's amazing. And then the sister that follows me is an engineer, and my youngest sister, she is brilliant and such a creative human. She's a fashion designer. Wow. So we're all girls that have, want to leave a legacy, want to leave a mark, and we were raised that way. So I wanted to give you a little bit of my story. as I told you, I was lucky enough to be raised in South America, where we had the pleasure to go into the beach. Life was beautiful. Everything was fine. I'm blessed to be a Venezuelan girl, as I call it. But then, things happen, right? The country changed. I was very young at that time. I was just graduating from high school and I was about to start college, and everything seemed like, we're getting a change in government. What's going on? But, you're very young and you don't really understand what's happening. So I started doing dentistry. So I did my college in dentistry and I loved it. It was amazing. After that, I became an endodontist. I did a fellowship in endodontics, but I didn't really like it. And then I found my passion, which was treating kids, helping kids. I started working in a hospital. It was pro bono, which is the largest hospital in Venezuela, helping kids with craniofacial needs. Kids that are born with some deformities of some sort. So I was working there and I loved it. So my story is fun because, I was raised to be a wife. And this is funny because I say it because it's true. I went to an all-girl Catholic school where I had a class was called Your Home. It was called Hogar. So they taught you how to fold napkins, how to cook, how to stand behind your husband, how to, greet your husband's friends, how to be the perfect social wife. And then, I was like, okay, that's my role. So I studied dentistry because I am going to become a wife, but I can help some kids as well. So it made sense, right? Short story, let's like a long story. Let's make it short. Situation in Venezuela got much worse, much worse.
Yeah.
I went to NYU. I studied there orthodontics as well. Then when I went back, my dad was kidnapped, and then that really had a toll in my family. You know, my dad said, "You have to leave the country."
Let's pause there, because I was actually, while you were talking to me, I was brewing up to a conversation I had with your sister in my kitchen. And we talked about, and you're a Latina, I'm Latina. We're so proud of what we've been able to do, and we represent our culture. And she says something to me. She says, pero el Latino de aquí no entiende lo que pasa en nuestros países. So for those of you who don't understand Spanish, a lot of the Latinos who live here are proud to be Latinos, but they don't know what some of these people, what some of our culture, or our other Latin cultures have gone through when it is to live in these countries where the government, let's say, is going through changes or corrupt. And she said something that moved me. She says, if you don't know what it is to be in a country where you have to worry about, if you're successful, you're being kidnapped, or someone's fleeing from the government because there was a government change. And she says, I want to help more people understand what some of us had to overcome, and that they can come to this country and they can reestablish themselves and they can build a dream. She says, that's what I'm passionate about. And when you just said that, it reminded me the same passion your sister had as she tells that story. I want people to hear that. Yes, you, Gabby, you have this amazing story. You went to NYU, but that part that had happened, like your father was kidnapped, yet look how much you guys still as a family have been able to overcome. And I wanted to emphasize that, because it was something your sister said to me that made me think, like, it's true, we are Latinos and we're proud to be Latinos, but some countries are going through, this isn't all just tropics and paradise and beautiful beaches. Like, there are issues happening in these countries, that there is a lack of awareness. And I want to bring light to that as we continue to navigate through, people moving into these countries, and foreign nationals, and people coming to just establish themselves. And, you were a professional studying dentistry there, and then you have to flee the country because, let's say, your father was kidnapped, or have a friend, her husband was killed. So just things like that are so deep that a lot of people don't know. And that's why this is, your life does not determine who you are. Your narrative does. So Gabby, continue.
Yes, and it's true, because when I try to explain people where I come from, it's very abstract. Like, what do you mean? So you didn't have food, you weren't able to buy diapers for your kid, you weren't able to just go out. So it's hard to have them understand your background, because that's what who we are. Experiences make you who you are, right? You can change the way you tell your story, but it actually has a deep print and an indent in who you are, right? And it's something that I am actually proud of, because it has made me overcome and see life in such a different perspective. When before all this happened, life is beautiful. Life has always been beautiful, and that's the way I see it. But when somebody that you love might not be there anymore, then the meaning of life changes. Now life really, and it moves me, because it's not just, oh, we're living. No, it's like we have a gift. Life is a gift, and we take it for granted. We take everything for granted. Food, houses, life, love, and things can be there, but one day you can turn around and they're not there anymore. So you have to really understand what it's a gift, a daily gift. So live in the present and enjoy every second, because life changes in a blink of an eye, right? And we're never like, when we are going to school, nobody teaches you much about finances and about what really life it means. So it's something that I had to learn growing up and living, slowly but surely, and it happened, right? So once my dad was kidnapped and situation got really bad, my dad said, hey, you have to leave the country. So I went to Colombia, which is the neighbor, and studied there my master's, 3 years in orthodontics with a special hint in craniofacial anomalies. So I did 3 years that. I got my master's, came back, got married, beautiful house, had an office, everything was teaching, everything was beautiful. And, we were lucky enough to, I was pregnant and had my baby. So I came to visit my sister in Orlando, and I was like, hey, so I came to visit you, what up? And then life happened again. And I had a premature baby, 30 weeks. That was the tiniest thing, It was so hard, because I didn't even, people have a list of things you have to buy for a baby. The crib, I had nothing. like nothing, Veronica. It was, I had to wait 10 more weeks, so I had nothing. So my baby was welcomed to life just with love and nothing else, not even a diaper. So when he came, and now I understand, to teach me a lesson, to teach me the value of being a fighter, to teach me what it really takes to fight for your life and be successful. So they told me, there's 70% chance that your baby won't make it. And for me, that was shocking, like, wait, so I can't really get to love this kid as much because I don't want to be hurt. And then after 24 hours, I said, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fight together, buddy. We're going to do this. We're going to make this happen. And I would talk to him, read to him, and I would say, you came here for a purpose, and we're not abandoning this fight. So 1.8 pounds of human body turned into the fighter that he is today, and the motivation that I have to live and give it all. So, yeah. I can't hear you.
How inspiring. How old is he now?
He's 9. He's 9. Yes.
9. What's his name?
He's Lorenzo. Lorenzo.
And
low.
wow.
So, you can imagine, it was like this tiny baby. He was connected to machines. And it's funny because everybody wanted to see, you have a stroller with a kid, and everybody's like, oh, and when they saw him, he was connected to machines. I was like, no, it's fine. He's small. So it was therapies and therapies and therapists. And, I went back to Venezuela. Everything seemed to be fine. And, working, everything, beautiful house, beautiful, everything was beautiful, perfect. And then one day they told me, hey, by the way, your son, the condition in his heart. I said, what condition? He was 1 year, 2 months. So we had been 14 months battling. And then they said, he needs a surgery and it's an emergency. And I said, I'm very confused. I don't understand what you're saying. And then they said, we recommend you get on a plane and go to the US because this is really serious. So I got 2 little suitcases, carry-ons, put in there whatever fit. I want to see what up. What up is I started my life here in the US with 2 carry-on bags, one for my son and one for me. And here I am.
What a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing. And, I think it's so inspiring. And I think anybody looking and, watching this today or listening, or will listen to it later because we play it in multiple spots. But, it's just like, no matter what you're going through, like looking back, when would you have imagined that you'd be where you're at today, right? And overcome so much. But just keep fighting. Like you said, that 1.8 pounds of fighter, right? That little baby. And, that changed your life, completely changed your perspective on how to fight for what matters most. I appreciate you not giving up. Can we talk a little bit about something that you and I talked about, which was, of course, the struggles of being a dominating, powerful woman. And, especially in an industry where males dominate. How women see you, but also how males see you, and how we believe or perceive until we make the decision to not, of how we're supposed to, show up in a competitive space, or in a world where, let's say, because there is a world where some women are not accepting, or they have this judgment of the, let's say, intensity that it takes to be relentless and focused, right? To go after your dreams. But in reality is you still need community. You still need a circle. You want to have that girlfriend. You want to not feel like you're alone. How have you overcome that in such, not only a competitive market industry where, maybe women in dentistry are not as, as prevalent as men are, and that's okay. But you're paving the way, and some of the challenges you've had to overcome.
So I can tell you, when I started thinking about being an orthodontist, it was, why would you want to be an orthodontist if you're going to get married? Like, why would you do that? Why would you go through the struggle? And then you're trying to explain them, I have so much to give that it would be selfish of me not to pursue it. Right. So I started, of course, as a very competitive world. You have to fight. You have to, I always say you cannot have just dreams. You have to have goals. A dream is something that I go to bed and I like this dream. And I say, I don't fight for dreams. I fight for goals. They can be baby steps. They can be huge steps. But dreaming is not something I do. I make it happen. right? So is how I've always, through my life, do things, get them done. If it's baby steps at a time, it's fine. Sometimes you're going to do jumps, sometimes you're going to do baby steps, right? So I started doing this. And of course, my baby had a heart surgery. I didn't have a license in the US. I was lost. I wasn't a wife anymore. I didn't have a license. I had a baby who had a heart surgery. I didn't even know where to be. So my sister lent me a room in her house. So I started with my 2 carry-on bags, sleeping over in my sister's guest room with the baby and saying, what do I do from here? Everything, my structure of life disappeared. What do I do? And then I started, getting connections, started studying, started working, being a full-time mom, working full-time, studying until 5 a.m. every day. And, fighting for my dreams. And most people said, you have to let go because, what are you doing with your life? You should be happy. And then I said, what is happiness? What is happiness to you? And what is happiness? What is the deep meaning of happiness? Because happiness is not just I party, I have fun, I'm busy, they invite me to it's, for me, being happy is living a life with a purpose, meaning a meaningful life. Something that what you do has an impact on people. So I said, my happiness could be different than yours. I respect yours, but let me fight for mine. So I decided to start fighting. And of course, the first time that I went as a faculty, it was funny because I was the only girl, right? I was the only young, and I was the only Latino in all the dental school, right? So of course I walk in with my Latino empowerment, my high heels, this attitude that we have, which is fire. And they're like, what just walked in? This girl with all this, embracing life. And then it slowly did take a toll on me. Wait, you're supposed to look this way. You're supposed to talk on this tone. You're not supposed to hug people. You're not supposed to be loud. And then I started adapting because, you have to, when you're new, you adapt. You want to be understood. You want to be taken. You want to have friends. So I said, okay, rematch, reconfigure yourself. And I became this, let's say, I put my feminine Latino side in a box, put it in the corner, and I became more a masculine with no emotions, because emotions harm you. That's what I thought. If you have emotions, then you're weak. If you feel too much, then you can't focus and progressing on achieving. And then I started living my life like that. And I can tell you, those were the saddest years of my life. When you're not true to yourself, when you think you have to be somebody else to gain or to be somebody on a meaningful life. So I did that. I got, all my boards, all my exams, had to do my residency for the 3rd time. So I'm an orthodontist 3 times because of licenses purposes. And people said, why would you do this to yourself? You have a son, you can do other things. You can get married again. Get married. That's a solution. And I said, I think people don't really understand who I am. I am somebody that I will give it all. And when I think I can't give more, I'll go to a corner, reroute, and do it again, because it's something that I was taught. It's something that life taught it to me as well. When you're in this situation where all of a sudden your life disappears, in Venezuela. And then when my son was being born sick and when things happen, I said, no. We are going to do this, Gabby. We are going to do this. So I did it, got on my board, got everything, license, life happened. And then all of a sudden I said, but I'm not happy. I have achieved, I'm an achiever, but I'm not truly happy. So that's when I took a time and I said, you know what, you have to surrender. You have to surrender to the power that you have in you, which is being a woman, which is being a Latino, which is being lovable, which is being loving, caring, hugging people, being you. Because by being somebody else, you're actually, not being fair to yourself. You're being selfish because the world needs you. The world doesn't need this little human that you have created to bypass what I don't even know why I did that. But I thought it was like, I need help. What are we going to do? Transform yourself. And that was like a huge mistake, but I learned from it. So whenever I say the narrative of your life is what makes you be who you are. I can say, well, my life has been horrible, unfair. Life has never stopped, putting me, they put me a leg, they pushed me, they closed the door. And I said, well, what are you going to do about this? What is your story? And then I said, you know what? My story is not life has been unfair with me. My story is not when is this going to stop? Because after the storm, the calm should come. I said, my story is everything that I have lived is making me an amazing human and it's making me a fighter. It's going to make me show the world what we as girls, Latino girls, can do in this world that, we're just not invading, but taking slowly, positions that actually will give a future for everybody, will leave a mark. And so I decided to change the way I told my story from being a sad story to being, no, my son was not born sick. My son was born with a power. My son wasn't a preemie. My son needed a little bit extra love from me. So that's how I became somebody who loves deeper, more intense. I left it. I really met love when I met my son. When
Awesome.
you have nothing to hold and you give it all, I left my house, my office, my clothes, my friends, just to save this human. And that's what I didn't even know I was capable of doing that. Because for me it was me, and my goals, and then all of a sudden when you say, I love you more than anything, and I will leave my life 100 times if needed, just for
Mm.
you, that's when you discover love. And it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's beautiful. And I remember when we met, it was a woman empowerment event where that's my form of showing love, right? When, I just love seeing people have those breakthroughs. I love people, because I, like you, like I had a fighter mentality. I had to fight for a lot of things. Not a victim, just, I was just kind of like me against the world. And that energy, we can come in the room and it can be intimidating. And now I come from a place of love. I'm discovering a softer side of myself that I didn't even know, because I had to navigate through life with this mindset of like, everyone's out to hurt me, everyone's out to take from me, or like you said, you've been wired to believe that you had to be something you weren't. And then one day I just said, I'm going to show up as me, 100% as me. And when I discovered what that really meant, I realized that I have so much love to give, so much love. And I would hope to be maybe even considered someone who wants to give a brighter light to others, to discover the light within them. We met there, and you probably see this intimate circle of high achieving women, and everything that radiated that day was nothing but love. And all of us had been in a circle where, we had to be competitive. Our industry is competitive, male dominating, which shout out to the fellas who, again, understand the importance of women empowerment and bring women to bring the feminine side of business. But like, there was a moment in there that we were all just saying like, we are love. We are love. And there is a circle waiting for you to share, to celebrate you and to share our journeys and to share what we've all been through. But, it was really beautiful to witness you in that circle. And I think there was something that you were like, I'm going to go do this in my market. Like, I'm going to go back home and find my tribe. And we
Yeah.
are here to support each other. We are here to empower each other. And I think what I love for, anyone watching this is you hear Gabby say the word fight. Change those words, because we had to fight, but now we're loving. We're coming from a place of love, and we're embracing the path that God gave us, the path that the universe gave us to operate in our purpose. And we realized that we had to overcome these things, but now we're in a place of just saying, hey, we're here to share our stories so that whatever fight you might be going through, if you change your perspective and you realize that it is part of your journey, it is meant for you to become stronger, to evolve, and to extend a hand out to others who maybe need to see your courage, because they can see themselves in you. There's something they see in you. That's what we experienced. I want to thank you because you were so open minded that day, and you sat with these strangers. You were just so, I think, pleasant and just so welcoming to our world. How's it been since that event as we wrap up? Like, what was your biggest takeaway from that moment?
So
Our love, it was a love workshop.
can tell you thank you. She actually gave us all this book. And, as a scientist, for me, there are certain things that are complicated to understand. And energy, love, giving, you don't need to understand, you just embrace it. And I have been working in this journal. Thank you so much from my bottom of my heart. And it actually pointed out things that I thought I had mastered and I hadn't. It's like you have an internal voice that actually can be super empowering or can be sabotaging your journey.
Yep.
And if you don't have the capacity to identify it, you cannot control it. Right? So thank you, because thanks to that book, I have been identifying slowly but surely what was in me left that was, trying to tell me you're not good enough, you're just a girl, what's going on with you? And I said, wait. Yes, I am just a girl, and that makes me different than everybody around me. I am Latino, and that is my power. That makes me different from everybody around me. So I have a group of magnificent girls in Atlanta. So I have been gathering them, and as a gift, every time we go out, I give them the same book, and I, give them heart sunglasses, bottles of wine. It's just I've given them smell like scented candles. It's embracing as powerful girls that we are, with the beauty of loving, giving. And I always now tell people, I need to hug you because I need to give my energy and I need to receive your energy. And every day in the morning, it has been a dramatic change. And right now, I had been working in my nonprofit that I've been working for in Atlanta, and it's basically for not the underserved, because I don't like that word. It sounds weird to me. It's most likely the female Latino.
Yeah, people with limited resources.
Girls, yeah, the Latino girls are there because they were raised like us. You have to be a fighter, you have to get married, and you have to cook, and you have to have well, they have the power of create humans, many humans, create humans.
Wow.
And for me, the nonprofit that I'm working on, that it's about to be launched, and I would love for you to be part of it, is actually giving these girls, these women, the power of knowing that they are strong, that they have the beauty of having power, and they can do much more than just staying home and waiting for life to happen. They can take control of their life and be proactive, work for the community and work for themselves. And of course, be a mom. There's nothing more beautiful than being a mom. You create life, you educate life, and you have this amazing human given to the world. It's my present to the world. And we have to embrace it.
I love that. Well, Gaby, thank you so much. I can't wait to learn more about your nonprofit. And of course, you have a sisterhood down here
Love
to
it.
lift it and spread the voice. And if it's, if it's making an impact on the world, we want to be a part of it. That's what all I can say. I can't wait to see you again and be in proximity with you again. I know you'll be visiting Orlando soon. I hope everyone watching today enjoyed this beautiful story of perseverance, of just love and unconditional pursuit to truly discover yourself. So thank you again, Gaby. I can't wait. And I'm so grateful that you are now gifting that book forward. Untethered Soul, the guided journal, of course, has become my favorite. Get it today on Amazon.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Get it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you soon. Gaby, you rock.
Thank you. You too. Bye.